And Vrishab.
So, I did it, but mine's not very neat because I used copy paper, so it's harder to tear and harder to fold. So, I mean, I did it, but it's like, I'm not sure really what to do with it.
Okay. Well, let me just mention, and I'm just going to mute you for a second just so I'm not getting feedback, but that a lot of times when you do things for the first time, it's not going to be like 100% perfect. And that is what learning is about. And some people are really scared of that. They're really scared of doing things that they're not perfect at. And I think that's a shame because it means that you can't learn. So I'm not expecting your first ever accordion to be like spot on. If you actually look at mine, here, let me bring it over. I noticed, and mind you, I literally have my master's degree in book arts. So I have spent a long time doing this, and I noticed, look, there's like a little bit of this cover right here peeking out. So mine is definitely not perfect at all. And perfection is not what we're going for. I'm much more interested in just like A, having fun, and B, being creative. And I'm actually really interested, not even so much in the book itself, but like what you're going to put inside the book. That I think is the coolest part of any book. Like for example, right now I'm rereading the Harry Potter series, and I'm up to the Goblet of Fire, and our copy is completely falling apart. I mean, the book is like, parts of the whole book are coming out of the pages, and it's are coming out of the spine, and I really don't care. It's still a really great book. So really, I think I'm more interested in what you're going to do on the inside than necessarily it being like totally gorgeous and perfect on the outside. All right. So, all right, nice, Zach. Yeah, let me see yours, Kate. Beautiful, very nice. Okay, and so now we're going to talk about the interior pages. Let's see. So I guess I'll spotlight. What should my interior be? Good question. So let's start with, I'll talk a little bit about the theme, which remember was, I know some of you couldn't remember, or maybe you didn't know, you didn't have like one thing that you wanted to be when you were young, but maybe you can think about something you really liked. Like I said, I really liked animals, so I wanted to be a vet. And let me bring my little illustrations over. I'll show you how to make these pages in a minute, but I basically made 4 interior illustrations with some text below them. All right, and this did take me a while to do. I didn't just do it super quickly. And this first one, it says, well, actually, does anybody want to read? Can anybody read my handwriting? Anybody want to read this for me? Any volunteers? All right, thank you, Vrishab.
It says, when I was a baby, I was very active and I would dance in my crib so much it would move across the room.
Yep. So that's what, let me mute you. That's what my mom told me. I don't remember being a baby, but I don't know. Are there any stories that you can think of that you've heard about from yourself when you were a baby? Something that you did? And one of the things I did was I would dance a lot and move a lot. And my mom said I would move so much that the crib would move across the floor. So, which was maybe a little creepy to come in and see the crib on the other side of the room. But that's something that I did as a kid. So when I was a baby. All right, so you're gonna think about something, some attribute, something about yourself from when you were a baby. Does anybody have anything that they can think of that you've heard about? Maybe you're gonna have to ask your family? Like, what was I like as a baby? Like, what was there something about me that you remember? And I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's something they remember about you. Like, actually, Grace, I saw you when you were a baby. You were, this was in Brooklyn. And I remember I actually knew Grace when she was like this big, and I held her. So I knew you as a baby. So I'm sure your parents have some good stories, something you could think about when you were a baby. All right. Now, this is going to be when you were in elementary school. So, Risha, will you read this one for me too?
It's too low, I can't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There. I love animals, and when I was in 5th grade, I wanted to be a vet.
Mm-hmm. Also, you'll notice I had glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I wear contacts now, but I had glasses for many, many years. I still wear them at nighttime when I take out my contacts, but I really wanted to be a vet for a long time. So maybe you can think about yourself right now. And maybe it's not what you want to be, but maybe it's something you really like werewolves or Minecraft or chess or books. So, you know, so you're going to think about, basically, first of all, you're thinking about what you were like when you were a baby, what you were like now. And then, so I'm older than you guys. So my next thing is past tense. Yours will be future tense. So Rishabh, can you read this one for me? Is it high enough?
Yeah. When I was a teenager, I loved music and played the French horn.
Thank you. So, yeah, if you guys know what a French horn is, it's this brass instrument and it's got all these little loop-de-loos. Yep. And so I played French horn for many, many years, and I loved music and I loved being in the band. And I actually even started my own band with some friends. Grace, I also wanted to be a singer for a little while. So that's when I was a teenager. So for me, it's past tense because I'm no longer a teenager. But for you guys, none of you are teenagers yet. So you will think, what do you think you'll be like when you're a teenager? What do you think you might be interested in when you're a teenager? So that's what you'll do for your third one, okay? And then last but not least, the fourth one. Where is it? There we go. I'm gonna unmute you, Rishabh.
Now I'm an artist, but I still love dancing, animals, and music.
Yeah. Okay, so here you can see me. I'm in my house. This happens all the time. Now, so you'll say, for you guys, you'll say when you're an adult. So you can imagine what you might be like when you're an adult. And it could be anything you want. Maybe you are a singer on stage. Maybe you are the head of a tech company in Silicon Valley. Or maybe you're an astronaut doing manning a spaceship to Mars. So you can think about what that is. But for me, again, it's my present tense because I am an adult. So this happens a lot where I have my 2 cats at home and we listen to music and I dance with my dog. She doesn't really jump up like that. Usually she gets her toy. But it's about, you know, I'm an artist now, but I still love all of those other things that I loved when I was a kid. Okay, so some of you have your hands up, which is great. So let me unmute you. Katie, go for it.
So we're putting those on our 4 pages.
Yeah, so, yep, you're gonna think about, and you could either, so before you start writing in your books, you'll notice that I did mine on separate pieces of paper. And I'll show you how to cut these down in a good way. The reason you do this is because, at least personally, I make mistakes a lot, and you worked really hard on making that accordion book. And so I would rather make a mistake on this one, and then if I do, I just get another piece of paper. So I make them all on separate sheets, and then I glue them in after. That's how I do it. You could work straight into your accordion if you're super confident, but that's how I'm able to make stuff, and then I'm not as worried about making a mistake, okay? And you'll notice too that for these drawings, let me get my other little sheet here. First I had to come up with the idea, and we talked about this, or Greg talked about this last time, that when he makes comics, he always starts really simple. And so I wanted to show you, this is my little simple drawings that I made before I actually came up with my, my finals. So I made little, on a scrap piece of paper, I made little drawings and I wrote out what I thought I might want to say. And then I came over here onto my bigger sheets of paper and I did it in pencil first. I don't know if you can see the pencil lines. I think you see them really well here. I did it in pencil first, and then I went over it in marker, with like a very thin pen almost. And then I think I might color it in as well, because color always makes everything better. So, and then I'll glue them in when I'm fully happy with them. Okay. All right, so do you guys have questions about this? Yes, you do. All right.
The thing in the sketchbook, was that actually simple? That looked complicated.
Oh, you think so? This one?
Yeah.
Well, these are what's called thumbnail sketches. Any thoughts on why you might call them a thumbnail sketch? What do you think?
Because they're the size of a thumbnail.
Yeah, and
A big.
oh, sorry, I muted you.
They're the size of a big thumbnail.
Yeah, they're bigger than my thumbnail. I wonder if thumbnail sketches were ever really the size of thumbnails. But basically the idea is you work small because it's easier to come up with ideas if you have a lot of little small boxes instead of trying to fill. Actually, you can see I tried first filling this whole page, and I was like, wait, I don't want to do myself as a baby with a cat. But I was using this whole page, and so then I decided, let me go smaller. And I drew these little rectangles. And first I came up with, I was doing my whole family, and I was like, I don't want to do that either. I decided, oh yeah, there was that story about how I moved the crib across the room. Let me do that one. And then I came up with the idea of, I knew I wanted to be a vet, like that I remember. And then I came up with the music one, and then I came up with the final one, which was basically all of those things together. So, but for you guys, like I said, you're gonna think about something about when you were a baby, something about now, something about when you're gonna be a teenager, what you think you might be like. Just imagine, maybe you'll be a superhero. Maybe it's not realistic. Maybe you're gonna be like Spider-Man and get bitten by a spider and fight crime. You never know. And then something about when you're an adult. Okay, and those are gonna be your 4 different panels. Okay. Zach, do you have any questions or any thoughts about this? No? Okay. So why don't you guys work for a little while? And, you know, like all the other things, we probably won't necessarily finish it right now. So you guys work, and then I'm gonna just spotlight the other video. You kind of get it, I think. So feel free to just like listen. But I'm gonna just show how to attach the pieces. So okay, so here we have our accordion book with our covers on it. And like I said, I really prefer to work on separate panels that I then glue in, because if you draw directly into your accordion and you make a mistake, there's kind of no going back. Whereas if I have a separate piece of paper and I make a mistake on it, I can just get a new piece of paper and start over, and then I'll glue them all in later when I'm done. So what I did for these, they said, here's my baby one, Here's my, this will go on the first page. Here is my one when I was in 5th grade. That'll go in here. Here's my high school panel. Okay. And then here's my final panel of me as an adult. And I would highly recommend, what I did was I used this like really nice pen. First I did the pencil, like I said, and then I did a pen over it. And then after that, I think it would look really good to color it in with some pencils. You could do markers too. I think my drawings are so small that I probably wouldn't use markers because the tips are kind of fat. I think the colored pencils would be nicer for my particular drawings. And so once I was happy with all of those, this is my example, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. First I would want to erase, I have some like pencil marks there when I went over the pen. I would erase some of those pencil marks, get rid of them. All right, and then I would go in with some color. Maybe I'd color in my rug. I don't remember what my rug looked like, but I'll just make it blue. Color this in. And I would color in my other panel too. And I would color in me and the wall and the lamp. But I'm just gonna do the blue for now. You can see I'm going different directions. Kind of, I'm not going too dark. I'm going a little bit lightly as I color in. And I want these to look the same. I want it to look like the same bedroom for these two panels to show me sleeping and then me over here when I moved the crib. So you color in your beautiful images, and then when you're really happy with it, you would take your glue. You'd say, this is gonna be my cover. You could also make a piece for your cover as well. But you would, I always do the perimeter. So you don't need to glue the entire thing. You don't need to put glue in the middle. You really could just glue around the edges. Close it up. Sort of line it up and press. You can also press from the other side. So then it would be attached inside. I forgot to mention too how I got this size paper was I took the same type of paper I used for these interior pages. Remember, we halved those at the beginning, all the way back at the beginning. We halved them, and then we made the tabs. For the interior pages, I take one more sheet of paper. We want 4, and so I actually do them in quarters. So first I do a hamburger fold. Fold the other way too. And then I do a hot dog fold. That way and this way. And you could either rip it like I did before, or if you are using commercial paper like copy paper, you don't want to rip it. You probably want to use your scissors. So I cut it, and cut it again. Cutting it here. And this, if you use the same exact paper and you do it in quarters, it should fit really nicely inside of your accordion book with like a nice border around it. So now I have 4 more sheets. So remember I said if you wanted, you can either do the 4 panels in the front, But you could also do these ones back here. So you could do 8. So I'm gonna just go ahead and glue in these other ones, even though I haven't finished them, just so I have my example. You guys are all working hard. So wait, there's that one, my 5th grade self. So I have my baby self. I have my 5th grade self. You can already see even that blue, even though I didn't finish these, it just pops so much more when you do the color. So, but I want you to work. I don't want you to just be watching me work the whole time. Doing the perimeter, not the interior. I sort of line it up, I eyeball it. I'm checking out, like, is this distance and this distance and this distance and that one all kind of equal? There I am, my 5th grade self. Now I'm going to move on to my teenager self, where I was playing the French horn. I loved music very much. I'm going to glue that one in. I glued the perimeter. Smush it in. And last but not least, me now, dancing with my dog in my house, with my cats. My cats don't dance with me. And same thing, I glued around the perimeter, putting it in. Smush, 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 smush. And there we have it. And I'm going to close up my glue stick. And we'll let this dry. And I would also encourage you to do a cover as well. So maybe you will want an extra piece for a cover also. All right, it looks like some of you have some things to share. So let's start with you, Vrishab. Let's see what you have.
So I have like a drawing of everything that I liked, and I did the elementary school first because that one's going to be the easiest because that's the one that I'm in right now. And so I did a drawing of all the things I love in elementary school. That's a violin. Then there's a football, baseball, and a cricket ball, symbolizing sports. There's a computer, and then there's books and math up here. And then I said in elementary school, I played the violin, played sports, and read a lot of books, and I liked math class and computer class.
Cool. That's great. Looks good. And so, yeah, so you can, I think that's a smart idea, right? Is to start with where you are now and maybe you can finish the other ones. Ooh, and I like your title. Let me unmute you.
Yeah, I just did my life and drew a couple stars.
Looks good. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else want to share anything that you've begun? I don't expect you to be done or anything because we didn't have a whole lot of time here. No, not yet. Do you have any ideas for what you might do? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna unmute you, Zach. You can tell us some of your ideas.
So I started on this one. It says, when I was a baby, I would jump in my crib so much that I would fall asleep for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so you would wear yourself out, huh? Is that something your parents have told you?
No, I
No.
remember it from videos.
Oh, yeah, that's great. So I didn't think about that, but you guys were born when everyone had cameras in their phones. So there's probably way more videos so you can actually see yourselves. Good idea. So you can like say, hey, can I see some videos of me? And then maybe you could get your ideas from that too. And then, Katie, I can't see you, but I don't know if you want to show us anything, Katie. Hi. Let me unmute you.
So I started on this one, and it says, when I was a baby, I refused to hold onto my mom and let her. When I was a baby, I refused to hold onto my mom and I let her do all the work because I was a very stubborn and lazy baby.
Awesome. Can you hold it up really still to the camera for us? Here, even closer so I can see it. And I'm going to pin you. Oh, no, wait, I'm going to spotlight you. When I was a baby, I refused to hold on to my mom. I let her do all the work because I was very stubborn and lazy baby. All right. Or maybe you just wanted to move around a lot, you know. Okay. So this has been great, guys. Let me just spotlight me for a second. So we were able to get a lot done in a few classes. We made our pop-ups, right? You guys made some pop-ups. Beautiful. Oh, we all got them. Let me gallery view this. Yeah, got some pop. Oh, I love it. That's great. All right, and we also talked about origami folds. So we did our lost and found origami folds that you made. Oh, Bishop's is upstairs. Zach's is right there. So you learned how to do those. And my accordion's over this way, but I'll just do this accordion. Today we learned about doing accordion books. So you guys are now experts on making 3 different types of books. And I hope that you will continue the rest of the summer, you know, working on either finishing up what we already started or making more books. I'd love to see them. Your parents have my email. Some of you I see around the town sometimes. So it was really fun. And I'm going to unmute everyone so that we can just say goodbyes. And let's see.
Bye.
Bye. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome. Bye, Katie. Thank you. Bye, Zach. Bye.